that, well, I got involved in different modes of this tribe, and the chief thing was that when I was studying in the Jesuit order, which I didn't go all the way to ordination, but I still teach in a Jesuit university, I did up to recently, that that at a certain point in human history, I don't know how you could put it down so effectively, before there became great, you could say, great powerful units that could have influence over all of a continent or something of that sort. That the tribes were separate, they didn't know about the other tribes. And I think we were part of that because the so-called discovery of America was the discovery of the foreigners, you know, because the other people were living here.
Exactly.
But eventually, if you come to a certain point, and I've been very much moved by and honored by having you know, some contact with the United Nations, because it's a big thing for me. And in fact, each year we nominate Robert Mueller for the Nobel Peace Prize. Did you know Robert
You've
Mueller?
Mentioned him to me before.
Well, Robert Mueller was one of the founders of the UN. And he has had quite a... He's still going, my goodness.
But did he ever get the Nobel Prize?
No, that's a bit rare thing to get, you know. No, we've nominated him a couple of times, but in recent years, we've got... I forget exactly how we got this information, maybe directly from him, or maybe because I'm the one nominating him. Now, last year, they were down to 5 people. That's something, you know, with all of our communication around the world. And he's been in the running significantly for at least 3 times, I'd say. And I believe that we'll learn shortly whether he got the nomination. But if he did, I was the one who nominated him, because the strange limits. If you're a teacher, you could nominate somebody. It's about the only place in the world that teachers have some clout.
Okay.
See, okay. I don't even know you can. Maybe heads of state can't do that. But I was also working with the UN, as I did over a number of years, that you get a sense of what the global community is like, you know, and I have the highest esteem for the UN, even though our country does not, you know, in general. I'm sure people in the country of the United States, but in general, you know, the United States was not supportive of the UN at the time that I was working with it. Maybe they've changed, I don't know.
Well, they haven't supported it financially, or in any other way, I don't think, have they?
In any way, as far as any significant way. Now that's another whole phenomenon, why we don't do But I think partially because we're still backward.
And the backwardness has to do with our consciousness, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
That we're still in this individualistic I consciousness.
Well, they do, yes, I mean, that's the way it works out, but what I mean is that it's better to belong to one tribe.
Yes.
And it's the global tribe.
And this is what you say in your book, Christ of the 21st Century.
Yeah, that's what I say, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that it's in, that it's there's no problem with tribal consciousness. It's that if you acknowledge that there's only one tribe, see? And I think we have made steps, that's my general approach, that as a collective phenomenon of human beings on our planet, and that's another whole interesting thing, that maybe we have reached the point where the human race can say there's only one tribe. See? And that the task of the tribe is to support the whole and not stand in opposition, contrary opposition. And I think that well, some people would say, and it is reasonable, that we'll never have a single tribe. We'll just have warring or oppositional energy systems. But I don't actually hold that. I hold that the human race is a single human race, and that it is destined to be a single community. And we certainly have developed in recent years some cultivation of that.
So this is actually the destiny of humankind, is to become one.
Yeah, one community, one family, you could say, and that's another way of putting it.
Which is the goal of the mystical journey.
Well, yes,
is to reach
of course,
a sense of cosmic unity.
And then some of the different people, and from my limited knowledge of the tribal peoples that I know, the Lakota people particularly, and the Potawatomi Indians, that they did a very good job with this, although they were terribly fighting with the other tribes. But on the other hand, I think they did a good job with within their tribal world, and with some cultivation of other tribes and so forth. But in that world, it's not an individual world, see? That's one of our biggest problems, I think. And I don't know. That's another thing. I mean, I don't know enough about the emergence of abstract, individualism, which is not collective. But that's what has been cultivated, I think. I don't know how to pursue that.
Cultivated in the United States, you mean?
Well, at least in the United States, yes, but also in other countries too, globally. But maybe this is you could say it's maybe you have to think ideally before you can think globally.
Yes.
You have to break into whether there would be one tribe. That's one way of doing it. There was one tribe, and the task of the multiple tribes is to support everyone in each tribe together and together as a community. And since we have so much communication, we're very far advanced, I think, in exploring different things and communications. My Lord, we have more communications than any other people in the history of the world. But we're not ready for the implications of that fully.
Well, there's a price to pay. There's the death of the ego in a way, isn't there?
Well, it is, yes, I think that too. But it's interesting that in individual tribes, since I've had some exposure to tribes, in reservations and whatnot, that the cohesion of the tribe is so strong. It's the other tribe that's a problem. And if maybe we have come to the point, and I'm inclined to think this myself, that we are on the edge of saying, yes, there is only one tribe, and there is no enemy. Now that is something.
That is profound.
It is, isn't it?
That is profound.
There is no enemy. In our families, we don't have enemies. I mean, sometimes we do, but it's not thought to be functional in any way. We get one member of the family can't get along with the others, that sort of thing. But the family in general, I think, maybe from its inception, has been cohesive. It's the other tribe that's a problem.
And is it because we see the other tribe as the other?
Yeah, I think that's
we don't see ourselves in them, we don't see the mirror, but we see them as other.
Exactly, that's what I think.
Yes.
I think that's the case. But